you mentioned voice acting. Can we bring up
You can bring up whatever you want.
the one that was controversial going into this?
I didn't know there was one.
The
Well, I mean, anytime
the
a
character in the very
actually
beginning
talks,
that's
it's weird.
the mummy that you see.
There was controversy.
Oh, I'm assuming that's who we think it is, right?
He announced it. It's Matt Mercer.
Oh yeah, no, I don't know what's story and what's
Daredevil?
not story, but yeah, the voice actor.
What is the controversy? What are
People
you
were
talking
like,
about?
"Oh man, this guy is going to be the voice."
This guy known for voice acting is going to be a voice actor?
No,
Yeah, he
but
did.
whatever. Go back and listen to your
Was
own
it more-
podcast.
was it
People
more
were
just-
like, people were concerned that he has more of like a gentler voice, or he's not going to be efficient enough, or like he's not going to be a good Ganon. I'm sorry, I said it. I don't know if that's a
I
spoiler.
think Ganon's in the game. Yeah.
Yeah, but you said no story.
Ganondorf,
point,
Ganondorf.
So I don't know, but so when
Or
you
is he
see him in
called
the beginning,
Upheaval
I
Ganon?
think he did a great job. I mean, we only had that one brief moment,
Yeah, it's fine.
but he's not like
And
the
he's,
voice of like
he's
a-
better than Princess Zelda.
a prince or something like that. Like he sounds menacing. He
Perfect
sounds mean.
segue. We have an interview with her coming up on Monday. That's great.
I liked her too. I was listening to that, and I'm like, you know what?
Well,
Like
I should
Disney,
say, like
Disney
she's
princesses are like very like breathy or whatever, and like dainty, and she sounds like she's been out in the trenches. She's a tough princess.
The trenches.
Everybody's. I wouldn't say everybody's
She sounds
amazing
like an
voice
uppity
acting
British
wise.
chick. She
I
sounds
haven't
like
had-
she's at a tea party. She doesn't sound like she's in the trenches.
We've heard the most.
No,
of,
but her,
she reminds me of the. You guys remember the little Indian prince from Temple of Doom? That's kind of what she reminds me of.
yes.
I recall the tales of the Thuggy cult.
I do like the. I love how. Well, I guess that's story spoiler, even though it's the first cutscene. But I won't talk about it.
I should say, even though it sounds like I'm talking crap about her. She does fine, and I don't think she deserved any of the backlash she received for the previous game.
She's fine. Like I don't think she's bad. I don't think she's great. She's fine. It's whatever. Matt Mercer.
And it really
I believe
doesn't
he's
matter
doing
in the long run.
Raru as well.
Oh, really?
I am almost positive.
I told you. I thought that was Keanu.
If somebody in the chat could correct me on that, maybe I'm wrong, but I really thought. Also, Rosemary, I thought the same thing.
Because it gives you his Johnny Silverhand.
I thought
no, but that's what was funny. I was going to say about when we talk about what we played, aka why I'm wearing this stupid thing. But
we do have to talk about that.
But yeah, I just thought when I heard Raru's voice, it made me think of Keanu Reeves, and then I was thinking Johnny Silverhand, and then I was looking at my own hand.
Can somebody tell me the voice actor for that character? I thought it was Matt Mercer as well, but I could be wrong. But I like them. Yeah, I like their approach to it. Also, I love that Nintendo gets voice actors for some characters and then also makes those voice actors do the traditional Zelda voice acting. Yeah, that stuff. I love that they make them do that. So, and not every bit of dialogue in the game is voice, but you still get the that kind of stuff, and I love it. Oh, Chris Hackney is Raru. Well, Raru. I really like him. I thought he did a nice job with it.
I agree. Even though I've seen very, very little of the story for what I've seen so far, I love.
That's
really interesting.
I really like that character. Yeah.
I love the designs of the other things too. They like kind of come out like you don't.
Yes. I mean, all that stuff. Yeah, Nintendo thinks about that to like the nth degree. Even the loading screens have that stuff like playing on it as well. So.
I love that Breath of the Wild and this game start off like cinematic, like it's just a black screen with just Nintendo presents or whatever. Like there's no like craziness to it. It's just like this is what you're getting into. And then you get into it, and then like you play for a while, and then you get hit with the actual title screen.
Yeah.
And it hits you in a way where it's just like
comes at like the perfect moment.
Yep, yeah. It's great. It's great. And then especially in this game, they've been doing a very great point of like making big moments in the game. Not even if they're a big story moment, just like big things in the game feel that much bigger. Like when you finally leave the sky to go down to Hyrule, like when you're falling down there, the music that's playing and how they show that's another like big moment that's really got a great crescendo to it. When you do the tower in that town, That's such a cool scene.
So amazing.
Where he gets shot out and the rope and everything, and he's like, "Oh, I love it! I
Spoiler
love
alert.
that moment."
I was curious, like, what the heck's with the rope? And he's got like a line connected to his thing.
Is this
and,
some
and
kind
he's
of
like,
sex
but then
machine?
he's literally up there, like filming
Yeah.
the land. And I was like, well, that makes more sense than just going
Yeah.
up to a tower and hitting an
It's great.
invisible button.
I didn't know that Salamaster Link. Salamaster Link says those noises, so like the, all those reactions are called efforts. That's a cool little tidbit. I
So,
didn't know that.
There you go.
I'm,
You learned
I'm on the
something.
toilet, making an effort.
What are you voice acting in?
I don't remember all like the information. When does this take place in relation to
The
the other game?
and when does it take place as far as after Breath of the Wild?
Yeah.
Well, it's after it. How long? I don't know.
Enough for Peretta.
Not too
Fill
long
out.
because they're rebuilding. Not too long because they're rebuilding the
Sorry.
town. So
That's
Yeah.
inappropriate. But she was
Yeah.
100 years old, even as a child.
the
so-
old anime loophole.
But like they
That 6-year-old child is actually 1,000 years old.
Ah.
Anyway,
So everything you do to her is nice and
but
legal.
now she's like a teenager. There was a different person.
are you talking about the game or imaginary situation?
That game.
What's that game?
With this game.
Are you trying to be secretive on purpose? What's that game? This game.
Pura is her name?
Tears of the
right?
Kingdom. You are talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your
The
question?
character.
How old is she?
Yeah.
I don't
Now
know.
she's like aged like a teenager.
Who's her?
She was in the last game.
She
right?
was a
In the
teenager in the
game,
last game.
I thought she was more of a child in the last game.
I thought she was a teen.
like
Maybe
this-
she's not.
She was like really tiny.
13.
She was I don't know.
I'm sure. 6 years. 8-bit Lego has heard.
Oh,
not,
okay.
not a definitive, but
And-
also,
It's
what's that
just
other?
like-
What's that other girl with her? She's awesome.
Oh, Joshua.
Yeah, I've
Joshua.
seen so little of her, but her reactions, I love her. I love her. I want to see more of her. I hope she's
Don't
involved
call
more.
me Linky though, am I right?
I'm
I'm sorry, is that a spoiler?
Spoiler alert. Well, she's not calling. No,
Pura was.
Pura. Yeah, not Joshua or whatever.
But I mean, honestly, Pura can call me whatever she wants.
Oh.
because I'm richer for knowing her. Oh, thank you, thank you.
I had a question. When was the last time there was a Zelda game that had like a direct sequel like this, where it's
So
it's the
your
same
direct
links, the same
sequels are
Zelda.
Ocarina of Time to Majora's Mask, Link to the Past to A Link Between Worlds, and Wind Waker to
Spirit Tracks?
uh,
Or no, to Phantom
Hourglass, right? I'm not as sure in the last one, but I could be wrong.
Oh,
Yeah, Wind
Phantom
Waker
Hourglass
to
was
Wind
a
Waker
sequel
to
Wind
Phantom
Waker.
Hourglass is true, and then
That's
but Spirit Tracks is not the same Link that was Phantom Hourglass, I believe.
I don't even remember. But
I couldn't remember whether or not it was. I was just trying to think what the most like recent example of that was, like before Breath of the Wild and
yeah,
Tears of the Kingdom.
it's a rarity. Super Blast X says Zelda 1 and 2. Is that true? I don't even know. I got no clue to tell you the
I
truth.
think it is.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's
think
what I
it
heard.
is.
You're right, William George. Sorry, it's called Phantom Choo Choo. We got that wrong.
Yeah,
Our apologies.
remember? I'm the one who coined that.
Freddie Frost says that little ditty that plays in Lookout Landing is Chef's Kiss. Yeah, I really like it.
You
as well.
know, just like with Breath of the Wild, you cannot notice the music, but if you're paying attention to it, you will be rewarded. There is a shrine, and I don't know if all the shrines have the same music, but because I wasn't paying attention, like I said, but the one shrine I was paying attention to, it was the coolest. It had old school Zelda and like some kind of new, if you were in like futuristic Japan going to like
Yeah.
blues clubs. It was insane. It was like the
Yeah, I know what
and then
you
there's like
mean.
a
I know what you mean. I know what
and it's
you
like
mean.
amazing. I
And
don't
when you
even
throw
know.
enemies in, like if there is an enemy in a shrine, it'll add something else to the music.
Yes,
Love
or
it.
if you're like you open up the thing and you're reading the thing, and I read really slow, and I gotta like concentrate, so like the music kind of like fades away, so that like dummies who can't think and read like have to just like oh, okay, I can read this, and then I get out, and then the music hits back up. It's all so flawless. It's done so flawlessly that you wouldn't notice it unless you're paying attention, and that's what I'm gonna have to start trying to pay attention to every moment because there's just so
I'm
much
so
greatness.
so very much taking my time, not because I feel like I have to, but because I desperately want to. I'm just enjoying it so much, and I've scratched I barely scratched the surface of anything, and I can go anywhere and do anything I want. And I'm just so excited because,
Yeah.
like, I'm excited from a story perspective, but just from a literal gameplay perspective, there's so much to do and see, and so many places to go. I'm like, this is great. I went to a random outpost that had like a big bokoblin, whatever they're called, and his henchmen, and they're hanging out, and I went to go in the front gate and they attacked me, and I was like, maybe I'll go try get in a different way. And I climbed up like a side wall and they got me or whatever. So I was wandering around this little plateau that it's on, and I found like a cave to go in. And I went in a cave and I was like, I wonder if I can go into the base through the ceiling. And I did ascend, and there was a spot where I could do it. And I went up and I popped up behind like 4 enemies that were asleep and a guy in a cage. And the guy's like, please help me. I was like, oh my God.
Please help me, man. In
So
the
I
floor.
tried to like,
did you press B and go back down?
no, I almost did.
Oop,
No,
sorry,
I got
wrong spot.
out, and there's a metal box, and I was like, let me pick up the metal box and I'll drop it on the enemy. So I picked up the metal box and I accidentally knocked it into the guy's cage, and everybody woke up, and I was like, ah! And I ran out of there, and they all chased me out. It was great. Also, I called in Mom Brain to show her something.
Oh my
This
God.
is so good. I was at some random castle, and I used again ascend just to see if I could get up to the top, and I could. And I poked my head out of the top, and I poked my head out right next to a pigeon. There's a pigeon sitting right there, right next to me. And when I climbed out, it flew away. I was like, that's really funny.
That's awesome.
There's places clearly where you think like, oh, I wonder if I could go up here. I bet nobody's done this. And Nintendo knows you're going to do it, because I've popped up on stuff, and you arrive like in the center of stones, like a circle of stones, and they're like, oh, they knew you were going to come here.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I thought I was doing something special, but I wasn't. But yeah, just that kind of the magic and wonder of not knowing where you're going and having so many things to do and so many ways to get things done is
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. I'm
It's
so
amazing.
excited to get back into
I
it.
hope the music is the same from Breath of the Wild for the Gorons, though.
Haven't even been anywhere near them, so I got no
'Cause
clue.
I was playing that earlier in the week, and the Goron music reminds me of that game where you play the trombone and you're like,
Trombone champ, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
it's like so good because it's just like so. Is that jaunty? Is that what we call it? Like,
I'd say it's jaunty.
Feeling
Yeah, sure.
jaunty.
Whimsical.
I
Not
was-
even whimsical.
I was so happy when I found a stable, and then the stable music started playing,
Well, I
Yeah,
was
stable
saying to
music's
Nikki Hill
great.
at Stables,
and I saw a dog. I was like,
if you go to a stable
Dog
and
the
you
Bounty
play Breath of the
Hunters
Wild
is?
and you have a save file on your
just a
system,
regular
then
dog.
your horses from Breath of the Wild will be in Tears of the Kingdom, so you can continue your journey.
I know
with-
that was great too. I
whatever
was like,
horse you have.
really? I've
They've returned.
remember that giant horse from Breath of the Wild with the red
Yes.
mane.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
I named him Big Guy. He was still in my stable.
Oh, that's
He's
great.
ready for a new adventure.
Yeah, I didn't put him in my.
Mm.
I had a horse, and I never rode a horse in Breath of the Wild like ever. So I
Really?
I
Okay.
had one, and it was
I
just in
didn't
the
either.
stable, and I didn't even remember I had one, and I didn't remember naming him or anything. And like I get to that part, and the guy's like, "Oh, you have horses. Here's I'll bring your horses over." And there was only one, and his name was W. Axel Rose. And I just thought that was so funny. I was like, "What was I on?"
I've seen stables. I haven't gone to them yet. I have ridden horses just because I wanted to. But in the chasm, I went down to the chasm. Obviously, that red crap is everywhere down there, so you got to be careful where you walk.
The gloom.
And there's the bone horses down there. So I tuned into one
Yes.
of them, and I've been riding it through the chasm because I
Wow.
can't step on the ground. And I was like, this is so
That's
cool.
so
And his
cool.
eyes are like, bright red, orange, pink, and it's so freaky looking.
I'm-
but
I'm
you
still
you
mad I
pat it on the
couldn't
head,
keep
and it's
one
like,
of those things.
it gives you hearts and everything. I was like, this is great. It's great. But yes, I'm so. I mean, there's so much for us to see and do. And like I said on TikTok, I've seen so many things that I would have never considered ever to solve problems. And it's opening my eyes to all the different things I can do. Like, we're talking about climbing up, how we climbed up in places. People have taken sticks and boards and built just like platforms that you couldn't climb normally, but they're using Ascend to just go up each level. So you can
That's
build
brilliant.
a giant
That's brilliant.
stick floor platform to get up to wherever you want. It's a great idea. I
That
would have
really is
never
great.
thought of that. I don't know why. I've also, like I said, seen a ton of people taking Kuroks and strapping rockets to them, or like putting them on one of the Zonai birds. I saw someone take a Zonai bird and put 10 rockets on it and put him on it and then hit it and just watch it take off. Take off.
Yeah.
Also, every chance I get, I will drop a rock back onto a Kurok, so they make that little noise.
I used to love doing that in
I
Breath
did
of the
too.
Wild.
It's so good. I love doing it.
So can any Korok you can attach to something, or just the ones you have to?
The big backpack guys, you
Okay.
can, yeah, because they're too tired to move, but you can move them.
Why
so
don't they just take the backpack off?
they're too tired to move. They can't. So yeah, feel free to stick them on whatever you want. You can attach them to anything.
I would love to see one of them walking around because you like. There's no way they can.
Not with the
They
pack
strap
on,
that
yeah.
thing on, and they've been laying there for days.
Did you guys build your hook machines to get across the railings, or did you do it a different way?
No, that's all I did.
Because I've seen people just walk the rails very carefully.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
I did that once. Not the rails that were real thin, but there was one that was like a little bit thicker, like a one thing that was just thicker. That, and I'd built this contraption and sent it over, and I forgot to like step on it first. so it was like goodbye. So I was like, well, I don't know what to do now. So I just climbed up on the thing and then just tight roped it, and that worked.
Hylian Tom says I saw someone rewind a rock, pause it, and then ascend through it. What a great idea! And then just fly wherever it's going.
That's
I've
unbelievable.
rewound rocks back at enemies. I've done that a lot of times especially when a big guy throws a big rock, I've rewound it and he
Oh
just
my
smacks himself in the
gosh.
head with it. So that's great.
That tastes well. It pauses.
I
Right? When
gotta
you go
try
into
that
rewind,
now.
it
Yeah.
pauses.
Yeah.
I've almost fought nobody. I mean, I
fought a couple really big guys, but not by choice. I
There's
just happened to wander into
there's
areas
big-
where they are.
Big,
Loaders.
big loaders.
Gablocklins. What are they called? Magoblins.
Bokoblins.
Bokoblins?
Sure. There's
Bo-
like
or
big
I didn't know
ones.
if you're saying if the big ones have a different name because they
there's
might.
Like there's like a big
Or
one.
Bokoblins.
Oh, he's like the big boss or something. They call it.
DD Mega Doo.
Yeah, he took a lot of hits.
They do take a lot of hits. We don't have the strongest weapons right now, all of us, even if we're fusing weird things together. But
yeah.
the big guys.
Well,
take
there was
big
this
hits.
one.
Have you seen the monkey kind of guys? They're bokoblins, but they're monkeyish.
Do they have like kind
No.
of like a reddish mane?
Yes.
I was wondering what those were.
Oh,
I
they move.
spotted a
They
few
move
of
like
them.
monkeys, but they're really quick, and they like swarmed me instantly. They all came out of a cave,
Yeah,
and
I
one like
figured they
jumped up
were-
on the front door of a cave and was hanging off of it, and then just swung at me, and like they all came out and chased me away. I was like, "Holy crap, these things are weird."
Yeah, when
Horriblins, they're called horriblins, and
Oh.
Okay.
Anastasia says, "I hate them."
I
yeah,
saw
as soon as I saw them, I was like, I know I'm no match for these guys. I'm gonna,
Accurate name.
I'm gonna hoof it.
So I stayed far away and took them out with arrows. I was
Oh,
attaching
yeah.
different things to arrows to like freeze them or just headshot them or whatever. So
I got lucky. I only came across one all alone in a cave, and I mistook him for one of those white things that climb on the ceiling because he was climbing on the
lights,
ceiling.
yeah.
No, not the likes.
Oh, the ones that look
the
like
likes are the things that eat your shield, right?
Yeah, I thought they were.
You mean
big
like
white
those
things and I-
bubble lizards?
They're like
whatever they're called.
white
Oh.
lizards. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
yes,
okay.
And they
Yeah.
drop the
I set those
snowflakes. or something.
suckers on fire every time I see them.
Oh, that's smart.
I do one fire shot and then they need one hit with any weapon and they're dead. Yeah, and then that creature pops out and you get the whatever from them. Whatever you
Yeah.
do with that, I got no clue.
You have to bring. Well, I won't tell you, but somebody told me what to do with it. They
I
told me
know.
to shove it up my butt.
I know it says like maybe it's the description says like if you collect them, maybe you'll get something. You know, I know somebody wants them, but
Well, yeah. I mean, in classic Zelda fashion, you know you're gonna find a place for all this stuff at some point.
yes, Red Souza, I'm sorry to spoil, but there are likes. You see them very early on.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Yeah, they got big.
They are very big.
There's
Yeah.
no point in playing. Thanks.
He says, I hate them though.
That-
Well, I
those
would
are-
say they're
those-
not too bad here. They're huge, but they're really not. I've never gotten caught by one.
Those
I
I've-
just got caught by one.
I
sorry.
I'm
He
sorry
ate my
for you.
sword.
that's one
I got my sword back though.
one bad guy or one enemy or whatever monster that I thought was missing. Like I was like, oh, like Breath of the Wild didn't have that or something like it, and I thought that was interesting, but I didn't. Maybe I don't know. But
What
they-
likes?
Yeah,
I don't remember. I don't remember likes in the game. Maybe there were.
Something
I
Seems
think
like there
likes.
was, right? There had to be one.
in Breath
I've
of the
never
Wild,
seen
I
ones
never
like
saw
that
it.
though. Like
I
ones
haven't
attached
seen
to a
these.
cave that are kind of like a worm. Like it's.
Yeah, I I didn't even realize that's what it was when I
Oh.
first encountered one until like after I had beaten it. And
Same with me.
So I found in Breath of the Wild, there's like the King of the Mountain, like the alien horse thing.
Yes.
I found one in this,
Oh,
and I mean, is this a spoiler if I say it?
I
It-
don't know.
It leaves a lot of drop points all around the land, and every one of those drop points is like one of those pinpoints is one of the little,
Oh, I didn't know
Um,
that.
and they haven't gone away yet, like they haven't faded.
Mhm.
But that was pretty exciting to see my old friend back.
Any particular shrines you've had a great time with or you really enjoyed?
I just want to say I like that they're like portals. They're not going down into the earth, and it's like there's no way this exists here, which it's a magical land.
I need a realistic Zelda game.
But you portal to the realm,
yes,
and when you look up, it looks like there's like maybe
you're somewhere weird.
but I'm thinking there's other shrine. Like you're in a giant freaking cube of rooms, and like you just portal into a different room.
Be is because I just found out recently that the original Legend of Zelda's temples, if you put all the maps together, they fit together in a big square. And the reason that is because when you go in, like, behind the scenes of the video game, all the temples are right next to each other. You just can't get to them unless you glitch out. So maybe this is one of those things where all the shrines are. I mean, wouldn't be for a
it's part like game magic and part game functionality. It's like Leon in Resident Evil 4 when you get like the radio calls and you see the two faces. It's it's the full character model. They just have the frame around it. So if somebody pulls the camera out with tools, you can see like his body there.
Yeah, I saw that just this morning actually.
So yeah, I mean it could be, but yes, is there a shrine anybody really enjoyed doing?
The Shrine of the Silver Monkey, of
The
course.
shrine. I just love the shrines
None of
in
them
general.
have
They're
like
great.
blown my mind yet.
One that blew my mind. It was, and it's still early, so like it's all kind of really exciting for me. And when I get it right, when they give me the diddly, I mean, forget it. It's when I get on hard. But so there was this one that I liked where there was like two ramps, like one on one side that went to two closed doors, and then one on another side that went to two like roly-poly holes that you would put a ball in. So what you had, like the one of the holes opened one of the doors, and the other hole opened the other door, but they wouldn't be open at the same time, and there was only one ball. So what I had to do was I had to put the ball in the first hole, roll it down to the second hole, and then go across the way and rewind it and like go through the first door when it was in the second hole, and then it goes back up into the first hole where I put it first, and then I went through, and it was so simple, but it was just really cool. And watching like the ball do what I had made the ball do, like in reverse, was kind of cool. Because then it was like, okay, there's a lot of things that I can manipulate, perhaps, that then I can, rewind or something.
I haven't done that shrine. I haven't seen it.
I mean, I've only done the first 4 that they make you do. And classic Nikki Hill, like you're given an ability.
What do I do here?
And I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Like, how am I?
No, what tools do I use?
Well, the reverse, what is it called?
I don't know.
Whatever.
Rewind. It's rewind time.
It's rewind time.
That shrine, I think, has like multiple stages.
That's fake, right?
Yes.
It has multiple steps or whatever, and like there's the clock, and I was like, what am I? And it took me like several like minutes or whatever, not a whole bunch of minutes, but a couple minutes of just like farting around to be like, oh duh,
The
like
power I just got.
you have to. Well, no, I was using it, but I was like, how am I? What am I gonna? How am I gonna use this?
Oh, I get it. I have to use rewind time on this giant clock.
Right.
I went into one shrine and I didn't have the paraglider, and I think I was going to need it.
I did too. There was one where I couldn't get anywhere. Did it have a fan?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the only thing that was in there. And I was like, okay,
it's like,
I need a paraglider.
It's an embarrassingly low platform that you can't climb up on. And you're like, and there's one Zonai fan and that's it. And I'm like, I'll fudge it and get it up there somehow.
You could almost climb in real life, climb on the fan and then just climb up. That's how close it was. But I was like, I need to get the paraglider. And
those
then
shrine walls are too slippery. You can't do it.
Yeah, my problem was, instead of doing what you had said and thinking in terms of video games, being like, look, they got to give you the paraglider early, just do the first story mission. I didn't think that way. I landed and I was like, let me pull out my binocs, and I looked around and I was like, ooh, 5 or 6 shrines, and I just spent hours walking to each shrine and then finding out that 2 of them I couldn't even do. and one of them probably.
Well,
I
funnily enough,
couldn't
I
do.
did the same thing. But when I got to that shrine, I was like, I need the paraglider. And I was like, all right, I'll do the story because I'm sure I'll get the paraglider. So we did the same thing.
Well, that's why I want to borrow your.
Different skins for your paraglider. So yeah, borrow whatever ones you want. I did a shrine that was like a hole in the wall shrine where you had like blocks that you had to turn in a specific way.
Oh yes,
to match the hole.
That was very
I really
cool.
liked that idea.
I liked that because not only did you have to turn it in a specific way to get through the hole to the next room, but once you got into that room, there was even a clever way to use it to climb up to get like a chest.
Yeah,
and
it's not like just blocks. It's like a shaped block that you have to manipulate through the hole, and then you use that block and put it in a specific position so that you can climb it to get to the next part of the shrine. So I was like, that's
cool.
awesome. I really like that idea. I'm sure they're going to do more with that in a few more shrines, but
it's so satisfying. It's so satisfying.
That's the whole game. It's so satisfying. The whole game is just so satisfying.
Is yeah, really. And the fact that it's easy, but you can still do whatever you want. And it feels, like I said before, it feels unique. It feels like you're having your own unique experience. And yet they somehow tailored it too. Like you can still have your unique experiences, but there's still those moments that are just like you said, when you pop up and you're in the middle of a place that they exactly wanted you to pop up in. So like things like that are just so amazing. It just feels great. I mean, this is why we get excited for Nintendo games, let alone Zelda games. I mean, because of this, like every second of it is a joy. You feel like you're doing something great.
It feels with a lot of games, you feel like you're, and I love so many games.
Pop-Tart coffee creamer.
What flavor?
Ooh.
Brown sugar cinnamon.
What do you do? Can I put it in something to try it? Can I just taste it? Yeah.
We'll put in some milk for you.
Pour me a cup.
Yeah. Mix it with milk.
I don't know what I was gonna say. It's gone. Oh
Zelda.
yeah. In so many games, like there's big set pieces that you're going through, and they're exciting and fun. But there's the lulls in between. They're not bad. It's just they're the lulls in between. And in Tears of the Kingdom, you're making the whole experience. Like they have the story, and there's going to be big set pieces in that. But you're going out and literally making the adventure and doing what is fun for you. And there's so many ways to do it that it's like limitless. It's just unbelievable.
It was cool. It's cool because, over the years, I'd be watching like Breath of the Wild videos online. And like, this is probably what sparked Tears of the Kingdom. But like all the crazy stuff that people managed to do. And like, as a viewer of those, like, and someone who loved that game, it's like, I would love to do that kind of stuff, but I'm not clever enough or have the patience to break the game like that. I mean, not that it's breaking it, but you know what I mean? Like manipulate it like that.
Yeah.
But I can watch it and appreciate it. They found a way to give you that, but make it so easy and so creative. And I can only imagine I mean, I've got a handful of parts that are in those little bubbles. I can only imagine how many more parts there's going to be because there's like just so much.
Go down in the chasm because there's a whole bunch of things you haven't seen before. There's just random, I don't even want to call them outposts. There's like little, like they're kind of like little libraries that are filled with shells with Zonai parts, all kinds of stuff. So I was like, there's ones where I was like, I don't even know how to use this. So I hit it to see what it does. And I'm like, oh, and then I built all kinds of weird things and it's great.
It's so cool.
Something I wanted to say, summing something up, but it's gone. Oh yeah. I love video games, not a surprise.
Really?
But for me, most games, no matter how much I love them, I will play for a couple hours. And then I'm like, I'm taking a break. I'm going to go eat something and whatever.
This isn't that kind of game.
No, I played it yesterday. Probably like 6 hours. Like I started at like 7:30. And the only reason I stopped is I had to go to bed. I was like, I got to do the community day walk. I got to go to bed.
But that pissed you off.
It did, doubly so. But like, thank you. I've never not once was I like, I'm getting tired. I'm getting bored. I'm getting frustrated. I want to stop. Never, ever any of those feelings. Just I was in it, and I had thoughts to myself where I was like, I can keep going. Like this is great. Like I just want to go see everything. So it's very dangerous. 8-Bit Lego says William George sent a video of a shrine, and 8-Bit Lego replied saying, "I literally just finished that shrine." How crazy is that? Piper doesn't want to be picked up anymore. closing remarks before we move on to other stuff?
I mean, can we call it an early show so that we can get back to playing this game?
Ooh,
Yeah, there was
how much?
I
is
just
this?
like.
Am
I
I
like
gonna
the
die?
inventory- I like the changes to the
25.
inventory. I like that I can access things pretty readily.
Yeah.
And I can adjust things. And I like that
Feel like
so far the abilities don't have to
Ice cream guy?
recharge.
oh, that-
Like the
little
the
thing
rewind
from
thing, you don't have to wait
Wild
to go and
Berries.
use it on something else. Like
Yeah.
it's I feel like
For
They-
me, it
they
was just
improved those.
the energy cell I've had to let recharge, but that's only because I screwed something up and it has
Yeah,
to
that-
recharge.
that
It's
happened
not
to me
really that
too.
big of a
Like,
deal.
I talked to a guy about building more energy cells. And I'm like, yeah, build away, man. Come on. And he's like, you need 100
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
triangle things.
You
And I'm
have
like,
one.
see you later, pal.
Yeah, that was funny.
See you in about 40 years.
I love those
What can I
guys,
get
man.
for
I love
one?
those robots so much.